When I fell into this major depression and I got involved with drugs, it was a really turning point in my life where things just went haywire and I was in a living hell.
Back from Zero, ke lenaneo leo tlisetsang nalane ya ma-Afrika Borwa a ileng a teana le mathata a tjhelete. Empa ba lwana gagaolane molamo wa tshepe hore ba iphumane ba le ka sehlohlolong ho hlola mathata ana.
Hi, my name is Zale and I'm a location sound recordist. I had a very good childhood growing up. Came from a good home, great background. Parents were always there for me. Went to great schools. So we are from the Eastern Cape. Originally from Cape Town, but we moved down to the Eastern Cape because Dad had a business down there. A CMT business, basically it's cut, make and trim. We made clothing. So we had a business down there, so we went and lived there for about, I think, 15 years. I have 2 sisters and 3 brothers. Mom worked for my dad, or should I say they worked together in the same company. She thinks she ran the company, so yeah. Dad's business was very good. He could basically send me to private schooling. I had the best of everything a child could ever want. Growing up, Dad was very into his job. That was his thing. And when it came to money, that man saved everything. He would send you to the shop to buy a packet of chips with the 70 cents, and if it was 50 cents, he wants his 20 cents back because that goes back into the saving. So he tried to instill that in me, but you know, hey, me, I want to go play a game now. That 20 cents is for a game, so that was my buzz. Yeah, I really didn't know what I wanted to do when I was at school, to be honest with you. I started singing in the church, school choirs, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. Maybe I should take up singing. I didn't want to be a fireman or a lawyer. I hated school. So I think singing was the one thing that was the thing that I wanted to do and be in the arts, should I say. What fueled my passion for singing, I could see I could put a smile on people's faces while I was performing, and I could see that people appreciated what I did and what I was trying to do. And I loved being on stage, and that was everything that I wanted to do. We moved back to Cape Town when I was 15 years old. Dad had lost the business over there, bad partnership with somebody, and the company went under liquidation. Then we moved back to Cape Town. We moved into Mitchell's Plain in a sort of an environment that I wasn't used to or accustomed to. We used to live have a certain lifestyle in Eastern Cape, and now we're moving into Mitchell's Plain. And as a teenager, I wasn't used to stuff like that. There was gangsters walking around. I didn't even know what a gangster was. We just got there and I got robbed I think a month later. So, yeah, we moved down to Cape Town, and that's where I needed to further my career. When we moved down to Cape Town, I never went back to school because I really didn't enjoy school, to be honest with you. It wasn't for me. But I wanted to further my singing career. So I got myself a job at a hotel as a porter. And while at the hotel, I was carrying this lady's bags up to her room, and I'm busy singing this Boys to Men song, and she's like, so you sing, right? I said, yeah. So why are you working or why aren't you singing? So I was like, I want to pay for my studies, and it's quite expensive. So she's like, okay, cool. How much is your studies? So it was herself and her husband that was there at the time. I said, it's 20,000 Rand a year at the Waterfront Theatre School, and you need to be there for 4 years. And she's like, okay, cool, I'm paying for it. Yeah, and she paid for my studies, and she bought me a car, and yeah, she just gave me money. While I was studying at the Waterfront Theatre School, a lot of opportunities came knocking at the door. And yeah, I was very like, okay, study overseas. I'm like 18 years old. I'm going to earn a lot of money. I'm going overseas. And that's when I booked the next plane ticket and I was gone.
We experienced Zale when he completed at the waterfront school, and then obviously there was the big fanfare with him going overseas, performing in China to packed stadiums alongside international artists such as Andrew Young. He performed in Turkey.
But at that time, like a 10 grand a month for singing for 10 minutes a night is a lot of money. And basically my accommodation is free, everything was free, the hotel was mine, it was a resort. So yeah, 10 grand, that was me, making money. I was singing in the Beijing State Theatre, in the Shanghai State Theatre, and it was touring for like 3.5 months. I've never had cameras follow me, taking photos of me in my life. I felt like a celebrity. So it's like, my head grew very big, very fast in Turkey, in China. And from there, it was like other countries as well that we toured. So we came back from one of our tours and I couldn't find work anymore. And I think it was 2003 where I just stopped. I think I basically fell into a depression after that, because you grow into this, should I say, like I said, my head grew. So I'm like Zale, Titus, I'm the singer traveling the world, and now you come home and you're just like Zale. Yeah, you're just Zale, just sitting there in the chair. Yeah. So I didn't complete my studies at the Waterfront Theatre School. I was going to go back, but then I was like, because I had this massive ego, and I'm gonna really state that I had a big ego, that I didn't need them, that I was better than them. When I came back to South Africa, I fell into a huge depression. I was super lost. And yeah, life just took a hectic 180 on me.
Zale e ne e le sebini se hlwahlwa se tsamayang lefatshe ka bophara a etsa tjhelete e ngata. Bophelo ba sebini se hlahelletseng ka mahetla bo ile ba mo fahla, mme a ba o hloka tjhebelo pele. Ha re kgutla papatsong, o re phetela hore bophelo ba hae bo ile ba tetebela jwang. Pele re ya papatsong, Zale o ne a re phetela ka bophelo ba hae ba ho ba sebini se hlwahlwa. Mme a fumana tjhelete e neng e mo nea bophelo bo tsitsitseng. Empa itse ha kgutlela lapeng, bophelo ba hae bo ile ba fetoha. Ha re utlwa ha batsi ka sena.
Because I fell into this depression, I was very vulnerable to a lot of things. I had a friend of mine who was like, yeah, Zale, come on, we need to try this new drug that just came out. It was speed at the time, but we better know it as tick today. I'm like, what the hell, let's try it out. Took my first hit, and that was it. I got hooked on that stuff so fast. It escalated to a point where I was basically doing it every weekend. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I can handle this. It's like just over the weekends when I go to a party. And it went from a weekend to using it on a Monday. And then I was on you basically come down and then you want to go back up again, because the feeling of coming down is like you fall into this deeper depression. So you want to go up again, and you're taking more and more, and then it turned into every single day. And then from there, it wasn't enough for me, because I fell so deep into it that I moved on to mandrakes, which we call buttons on the street. And that really also just took me way down. And I basically I sold everything that I owned for my next fix. I lost relationships because of my usage. Friends, family, everybody starts to turn the head on you which I didn't understand why, because for me, I'm fine. But to them, I was a demon. I was in jail a couple of times. I was arrested for holding drugs on me, for getting into fights. And yeah, it just really got chaotic. It got to a point where it was uncontrollable.
His career spiraled completely out of control, where he became the zero in his life.
I had a flat in Gordons Bay, it was my parents' flat. And that flat was fully furnished. When I say it was fully furnished, it had everything times 2 in. And when they moved out, they left me the flat. And because of my addiction, and I wasn't working at the time, but I got this flat, I needed to maintain my addiction and my habits. Started selling a couch, selling clothing, selling the TV, selling one of the TVs, the plates in the cupboards. There was nothing left in the house. When I say there was nothing left, the only thing that was left in the house was one TV that kept me entertained. There was no carpets in the house. There wasn't even electric plugs in the house anymore because I had sold everything. I had a little poof which I slept on, which I hardly slept on because you didn't sleep, because you were always high, and meth obviously keeps you awake for weeks at a time. So because everything was out of the flat and my parents were like, what's going on? They needed me out. So I left the flat and I lived on the streets for a couple of years. And I slept on the pavements. I slept under boxes. I asked people for like 2 rand so I could buy me a packet of crackle snack, or even a 20 cents so I could buy me a bompie, just to have something in my system. But if I had to make a 30 rand and be starving, I would rather go and buy me a drug instead of eating. So sometimes you wouldn't eat for days, and all you'd eat is like a 1 rand packet of knickknacks or something, and that sustained me. My family was very aware of my situation and my addiction. They did try and reach out and help a couple of times, but because I was just wanted to get help and accumulate stuff again, they're gonna buy new clothing again, we're gonna help you out again, let's do this. I went for help, accumulated stuff, and then I just relapsed again, and the process started again, back to the street. And that happened twice.
There was a huge transformation in Zale, which we all couldn't understand or believe that was the Zale that we loved and knew. Not that we didn't love him anymore, but he had spiraled out of control completely.
My addiction went on for 17 years. Living on the street was for about 5 years. But when I say living on the street, I was everywhere in Cape Town. I was basically in Gordons Bay, living on the streets in Gordons Bay, Strand, Somerset West, Cape Town, Grassy Park, Lotus River, Ocean View. If there was an area that I was living, I mean, it was basically the map of Cape Town. I strolled the map of Cape Town. I remember on the 5th of March, 7 years ago, almost 7 years ago, it was raining, I was cold, I had a pair of Crocs on with a hole at the bottom of both Crocs. And I was dirty and I was smelling and I was just tired of life. So when I had this realization, it's like, I think there's more to life than this, than living this way. And I think at that point, on the 7th of March, I reached out to a rehab. I was lucky enough to get help from Tehila. It was a rehab in Elsie's River, and their fees was very expensive. But Sister Klein allowed me to stay there for 3 months, which I was very grateful for. She was very hard on me, but I needed the help and I wanted the help. And it came to the 3rd month and she said, Zale, it's time for you now to go find your feet now, because they couldn't obviously keep me there for free all the time. And I contacted Rifat Brouwers at the Choice Rehab Counseling in Athlone. And he was like, okay, come through, let's have a chat. And I got there and I stayed there for a year and 2 months.
Whilst he was still in the house, he got a job at a hotel at the waterfront. He had hosted various ambassadors that was guests at the hotel, because he's just got that warm, accommodating personality. And I think that was also part of his rehabilitation, but it was also just displaying who Zale really is.
I went back to my parents' home. I didn't know what I was going to do with myself. I then started singing again because Rifat, the owner of the rehab, owned an entertainment company as well. So he put me on stage a couple of times, which was awesome. It's like I felt like Zale again. It's like, yes, this is coming back now.
Seeing Zale back in the entertainment industry is something that I believe he was destined to get back into.
And starting to perform and starting to sing and feeling the self-worth again, it felt like, look here, there is change coming, but it needed to be a slow journey.
Pele a sebedisa dithethefatsi, Zale o ne a phela bophelo ba maemo a hodimo. Empa qetellong o iphumana a sena letho. Ho ba lekgoba la dithethefatsi ho senya tjhelete, mme sena se ka o tlisetsa mathata a mangata. Kajeno re etetswe ke mohatisi wa mantswe difilimeng Zale Titus, ya re phetetseng ka ho ba lekgoba la dithethefatsi dilemo tse 17 ka mora hore a se fumane mosebetsi wa ho bina hwa nakwana.
Where things really took a turn for me was I had a friend called Julian de Brain. He's a cameraman. And he's like, Zale, don't you want to come and do sound for me? Because I knew how to do sound, but I didn't know how to break into the industry. So he's like, okay, cool, you can come work for me and you can earn a little bit of money. I can't pay you what sound guys get, but I can pay you a little bit of money. And we started off like I think it was 300 Rand a day doing sound. And I worked for him for quite some time. And then straight after that, I met a guy by the name of Mikhail Malik, which is a director. And he's like, no, Zale, you need to come work for me and earn more money.
So Zale's career in sound started when he was a DJ at a party of a local producer for her 14-year-old son. And again, his personality shone through, and she said to him, listen, I need you to come work for me. I need this energy. And from there, he learned how to do the basics of sound on set.
And it jumped from 3 to 800 Rand a day. And I'm like, 800 Rand a day? Whoa, we're going somewhere now. Then I met Michelle Steyn not too long after that. And she was on the production team for a TV series. She's like, Zale, do you want to come do the sound for Signal High? I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. I've never been on a big set in my life. I literally lied to this lady. I've never been on a set. And I'm like, cool, I can do the sound. Do you have gear? Yeah, I've got gear. Sure. And I went from earning 800 Rand to earning 16,000 Rand a week. And now I am balling. In my mind, I'm balling. So in this time, I met a lady called Catherine Overmeyer, and she was my partner at the time. And she basically kept me grounded in earning all this money, 16,000 Rand a week. And for me, I felt I was still a bit unstable with money. So she basically handled my finances for me. She did all my invoicing. She was my partner. She's my girlfriend partner. She hates it when I say partner or girlfriend. She's my partner.
Financial matters are a huge trigger for most addicts. And when they completely surrender in their recovery, it is always advised that they hand over their financial affairs to somebody trustworthy, So it could be a parent, a spouse, or just a life partner. And in this case, Zale has probably done the most admirable thing in giving over the finances and the management thereof to his life partner, and who has been a great support to him throughout his recovery journey.
Things just got out of control, but out of control in a good way, where I never stopped working for a week ever since that time. I've been booked every single week.
The day I met Zale and the Zale that is working now are two different people. He works so hard, and he's hungry, and he's willing to learn, and he's willing to ask questions, and he's just so eager, and he loves the job that he does, and he loves the people that he works with. And as a result, he has grown multitudes. He is my go-to sound guy now, and he is many people's go-to sound guy. He's so busy that I sometimes can't book him. And now Zale's growing to his former strengths. He's becoming that icon that he once was in his community.
He's always lived for the entertainment industry, albeit that he's behind the scenes, but he's still part of the whole in the entertainment industry. So I'm very proud, I almost feel like the proudest dad in the world, because Zale is like a son to me.
So what I do in my pastime when I'm chilling at home, in recovery, they always tell you that you must grow a plant, get a dog. I built a car.
His passion for creating this car, for building it, for making it part of himself, is something that has influenced him incredibly positively. It's kept him busy, it's kept him focused, it's a hobby that's kept him passionate. It's an extension of his personality. When Zale enters a room, everybody knows and everybody's happy to see him.
Looking back, my relationship with money was barely there. It was not there. But now there's a lot of respect when it comes to money, because I basically take care of myself, my family, and my mom, my dad. I take care of everybody at the moment. And saving money is very important, because you never know what tomorrow holds. The word of advice that I can give to any recovering addict that really wants to change their life is don't give up until the miracle happens. As addicts, we always like saying that, I must take care of my family. In the meantime, you can't take care of your family unless you have taken care of yourself. So fix yourself before you fix other people.
Lerato la Zale la mmino le ile la mo thusa hore a iphumane hape. O fetotse bophelo ba hae go tswa go ba sebini ka jeno o sebetsa difiliming. Mme o etsa bonnete ba hore o ikamanya le batho ba mo tshehetsang ka mehla hore a tsebe ho sebedisa tjhelete ya hae ka makgethe.